travelers, Mag and I here on day 126 of our trip around the United States. As you know, yesterday was the biggest day we've ever had. Unfortunately, we did not finish up our route for the day yesterday, nor did I really expect that we were going to. When I put that portion of the plan together, I had a note on there that kind of let me know it might take a long time, but I figured I'd feel it out when we got there. And once we got into Casey yesterday, it became immediately apparent that we weren't going to leave in any kind of a hurry, because I didn't want to. I wanted to take my time and explore that small town full of big things, and we had an amazing time. What that means is we were 2 days ahead of schedule. I took one of those days, cashed it in. Now we're only going to be 1 day ahead of schedule. We're starting here from the Veterans Memorial in Salem, and from here we're going to finish the remaining miles from our route yesterday. Then we're going to start into the route for tomorrow, which is a 300-mile route covering pretty much everything but the very southern point in Illinois. So today, like yesterday, has a very interesting location on it. Today's route includes Chester. Chester has a lot of really interesting statues spread around town, and I know it's going to be a very cool spot that I'm probably going to be unwilling to leave in any sort of a hurry. My goal for today is not to complete the miles for today, because it's a bridge too far for where we are. Instead, the goal for today is to make it to Chester. If we make it to Chester with daylight on our side, fantastic. We'll get to show you some of the town tonight and we'll have a good time of it. I'm thinking we're gonna get there right about sunset. We'll probably wake up first thing tomorrow and explore the town and get to learn a little bit about Popeye the Sailor Man. Between here and there, on what's left of yesterday's route and today's route, there are a lot of cool geocaches. Lots of them have favorite points, and one of the highest favorite point geocaches I have on this trip altogether is at the end of today's route. So we know we're gonna hit it, the timing's right, we've got sunlight, so join us as we get through this part of Illinois and make our way to Chester. Come on, let's go.
Hey, I met you too. Come on, let's go. Our stop in Salem was short this morning. We just happened to notice the Veterans Memorial on our way in to get a couple of geocaches. And this small town has certainly done a lot for our troops. They were instrumental in the drafting of the GI Bill on November 4th of 1943. When we got to the ground zero, I had to stop for a minute and make sure that I was seeing what I thought I was. Is that an airplane crashed in the front yard?
That is a payphone. We're gonna go investigate, because I do not pass up any payphones without giving a check and seeing if it actually works. Remember, we have 1 point out of like hundreds of payphones, but we have a point. What we got going on here? No bueno. But as a consolation prize, there is a geocache here. I'm gonna take what I can get out of this one. But what are you doing up there, little buddy? Come down here so I can get you. All right, I'll help. I think I just let this down. That ought to do the trick. There we go. What we got going on here? All right. A little moth flower too.
We received a call for help from the city of Vandalia and came to provide assistance. A great beastly geocache is terrorizing the land and needs to be stopped. Stay back, my good sir. I will handle this. Unhand the geocache, you foul beast. I am Mag Planner, and I shall not be defeated by a hide. I will emerge victorious each time I stamp a log. Since I had such good luck with a large metal hiding place, I decided it was time to take on a tank, right here at the Mulberry Grove Veterans Memorial.
We've talked about tanks and micros plenty, but I do feel I need to caveat that. If you are so inclined to hide a micro on a tank, then, like this one, including a good hint can make it a really fun find. What's that, little guy? You're the oldest active letterbox? Oh, well, I would absolutely love to put my stamp on your logbook. Please.
This letterbox actually predates Geocache. It was established in 1999 and only later republished on the website.
Some cards, golf balls, some toys. The original logbook. Awesome that this has survived. And awesome that it is completely filled to the brim. There we go. Moment of truth.
We had already completed the counties and pages in this area of Illinois on a previous trip, but knowing that the oldest active letterbox was in this area, we had to make a special trip for it. As an added bonus, there's a letterbox almost as old right down the street at the local library. On the way there, we happened to get lucky and spot another Veterans Memorial to check out. Dedicated in 2003, this memorial is in honor of all veterans. And I happened to arrive shortly before the flag seen here was due for its retirement. Now let's take a trip to our local library and find a letterbox that's over 20 years old. This is a pretty decent sized library with an upstairs and a downstairs. And walking upstairs is a journey through a magical wonderland of stories and fairy tales. Art sure can make the difference between ordinary and exceptional. Like the oldest active letterbox, this letterbox existed before geocaching as well, which means that today's finds are as OG as letterboxes get. The first page of the book has stamps on it from before it was even published on the geocaching website. Oh boy, I can't wait to add my stamp to this logbook. Here we go. Ah, good deal. Alright, let's go ahead and wrap things up at the Cahokia Mounds State Historic Site. This was the site of the largest prehistoric Indian community in America. It covered an area of 6 square miles, including at least 120 mounds of different sizes and functions. This city stood at the center of a large complex of chiefdoms that started along the Cahokia Creek. As you walk around the trails, there are many informational signs to tell you about the history of the people that once lived here and the formation of the mounds that this state park is comprised of. Everywhere you look is a sweeping view out over the prairie, with mounds off in the distance. Historians have determined that the dirt used for these mounds was imported, sometimes from as far as 200 miles away. Monk's Mound, the largest of these mounds, was constructed as the symbolic center of Cahokia when its population may have been as large as nearly 15,000 people. To reach the top, you'll need to take the staircase located at the end of the hiking trail. When the dog saw the stairs, she took a moment to gather herself before beginning the ascent. Each time we reached a landing, she'd take a break, look out over the view, catch her breath, and then hike up again. By this point, I assured her she was almost to the top, just a few more stairs. Well, okay, Ai-chan, maybe there's just a few more stairs after that, too.
The dog got to the top of that flight of stairs and looked at these stairs ahead of us like, you have got to be kidding me. Really?
When faced with a challenge like this, the best way to attack it is head on. One step at a time as you steadily make your way toward the top. Just keep going. Remember, you did 1,000 steps in Pennsylvania.
That's right, Ai-chan. Just 2 more flights. You're almost there. You got this, girl. You got this. Last one. Last one. Oh, look at that.
The best part of a climb like that is the view from the top, especially when you're at a place where there's not a lot of hills to compete against you. It looks like we have found the right place to enjoy our sunset tonight. See you tomorrow, Illinois. And that setting sun signals the end to another day geocaching out here in Illinois. It turned out to be a pretty good day. We're glad we got to visit all the world's largest yesterday, and the timing worked out that we're not going to be off kilter on a half day because we added all of that stuff yesterday, and tomorrow when we begin in Chester, first thing in the morning, walking through the historic trail is going to take us most of the morning, so we're really going to be right back online with our daily schedule. Currently, we're shooting from the top of Cahokia Mounds, specifically the Monk Mound, out here in southern Illinois. It is a state historic site and it is a World Heritage Site. We've been to a lot of Indian mounds in our travels, but none have stood out like this. And they shouldn't. This is the largest Indian mound in North America. And it predates European settlement by quite a bit. The civilization that used to exist here goes all the way back to 700 AD. This has been a great day, filled with great geocaches, the oldest active letterbox, and
one of the oldest letterboxes ever to be published in a library. Maybe one of the oldest geocaches ever to be published in a library. All around, it was a good day, and we are so looking forward to tomorrow starting off in Chester so we can bring you another awesome day out here. Thank you for joining us. Like this video, subscribe to stay tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.